one of the guys or ladies that go and swings and take the racket too far back, get in the corner of the court, let the coach toss you the ball, because I can only go to here and I can only go to here, and then learn how to hit the ball back. Here, and then you go back. Here, and then you go back. So those control volleys going to help you. Always have control volleys. Try to control it before you go and hit the ball a little bit harder. So when I look straight at you right now, I can see over the racket tip, right? So don't hold it up here, not seeing what's happening in front of you. Keep the racket in front of you so you can look over, you know, right here, and have the racket in front of you all the time. So it's so crucial that you're waiting low and here, so you're ready to go when you hit it. Okay, so grip-wise, continental grip. A lot of times, I know the most players we have is recreational and beginner players, like a beginner and intermediate players who just started playing. A lot of times, you know, they come in and they have like this forehand grip here, and they're gonna struggle on the low balls, and they never change that. And I believe if you teach at least the Eastern grip from the beginning, at least, right? I'm not saying do that. I say if you don't want to go straight continental and you feel like some players can't handle it, my experience is if I have players, a lot of them were able to handle it from the beginning if we did the right progressions, right? So have a continental grip, how to find it, just hold the racket, go around the racket, pull it out like a sword, and you have a pretty good grip. So keep the elbow in front of your rib cage all the time when you volley. You don't want anything, too many times in recreational tennis, players are scared of the ball and they're waiting for the ball and the elbow's already tucked in. So what is now the natural reaction when the ball comes to you? You're pulling the arms in and you're not able to do anything. Like you always go to the ball. No matter how fast the ball comes, you always go. If the ball comes with 150 miles and I'm a racket out, oh nice, I take that pace and hit the volley. Then you try to stay in the ready position and the arms out. So don't tuck your elbows in. If the ball gets to your body, you need to move away from the ball. And while you move away again, you try to keep your arms in front of you, okay? One of the most common mistakes is, let's say we're here, ball is hit over there, and the players go sideways. That never ends good to try to hit here. When you get the ball and you see it's coming there, I call it always the V style. If you have the center of your body and you go out like a V, and like almost like a 45 degree, and you want to cut the angle of the ball it's coming to you. So you try to be as low as you can, arms are out. Let's say I get a back and volley. So you need to learn how to keep the hands in front of you and load the outside leg, because that's where you're going to push off to hit that volley. So your arms are always in front of you, you load the outside leg, you lay your wrist a tiny bit back, the arms are in front of you. If you have the arms here, you're going to hit like this. It's so natural, right? So the arms here, you pivot a little bit into your left leg, you load that leg, and then you go, as soon as you go forward, your right arm goes forward, left arm goes back. Very important is that the racket head stays always above the wrist. So what worked magic for me is when I started to teach, and let me do this quickly. So if you have an elastic band, this is just a little tennis hack I wanna share with you guys, because it's gonna work crazy good. I hope so. Let's put it here. Yes, you see? I broke it. Nice demo. So what was supposed to happen, let me try to fix that. I'll just try to fix it. So you have one end here, what you put around your arm, and if this thing would be still attached right here, let's see if we can do that. No, we can't. So you have a band, we have to just imagine it now. So you have this, it goes around the arm, and then you have this piece which you attach right on the side of the racket, which is going to be right here. You just have to imagine it now since it broke. So this would be attached to your biceps. I'll hold it for demo purposes right here. So this part that broke, I'll just show you again, would be around your biceps, and it would be connected here, okay? So keep that in mind when I demo now. So your racket head is always above your wrist. So if you have this band on, you can't cheat here because, see, it pulls you back. So you want the wrist locked. So pull the racket always to you, and if you have the elastic band, volley with it, keep it on here, because now you have the perfect racket angle and angle right here in the arm to volley, okay? So unfortunately it broke, but if you start volleying, get the elastic band, put it around your right biceps, attach it on the side of the racket, so it's gonna look like this here. And then if you lose the right angle of the racket head, it just goes back in the right position. So you can't do, so many players volley like this. That doesn't happen. If it's to your biceps, you have the right angle, you have the perfect angle. The racket head always stays above the wrist when you volley. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Sorry for the band breaking. So I try to improvise a little bit. So when you volley, what I tell my students is on the backhand volley, when they turn a little bit, they pull with the left hand the racket towards them, and now they have a strong wrist. And they keep this position until they go forward and they separate the arms. And you can make a test with them, always do that. If the wrist is like this, you let them push against, they hold the hand out, you push against it, you're gonna be weak. If you lock your wrist and you put the hand here and they push against it, they're gonna feel stronger. And that's what's happening when you volley. You wanna have a good base with the elbow close to the body, and you wanna have a locked wrist so you can control the ball. What else? The legs are so important. If I hit a forehand volley, you lay the wrist a little bit back and lay it into your right leg. So now from here, when the ball comes, keep the left hand always close to the racket hard, and you push forward when you hit your volley. So you stay low, outside leg, and you push forward. And there's some people say, you know, when you volley, it always goes straight forward in motions. So my 2 cents and my experience, let's say I'm like let's say I'm 5 feet behind the service line. Yes, my motion is gonna go more like this, right? So I'm right here now, I wanna get it deep, I wanna close in. If I'm 3 feet away from the net, I'm not gonna hit like this anymore. I'm gonna hit more down on that volley. So it depends where you're on the court. As further you are back, as like if it's low, you go up. If it's higher, you go forward. To get closer to the net, you're on the service line, you still go forward, a little bit down. You're very close to the net. You can hit really down on that ball. You can show your students, if you have the ball, you toss it up. You can go, if you're 4 feet in front of a net, you're here, you can go a straight line to your toes. That ball is still gonna go over there and deep. It's unbelievable. Just try it out. All right, so what else do we have on the volley? On the forehand side, keep your left hand always with you, because that's keeping you balanced, right? You need to have balance when you hit a shot. You can't be loose here, you're not going to be able to control. Especially on the high balls, when you get a high ball when you volley. So let's go through those quickly. So the low balls, what I like to teach my students is, when you get a low ball, we lock the wrist still and let them practice with a locked wrist to the knuckles point up, knuckles point down. Just let them practice this here. And now, when they learn the feel for it, when they run up on the forehand side, for example, you're always in front, you just drop it down like this, the ball is low, you're still pushing from the outside leg, and the motion goes up a little bit. On the low ball there, and up. And on the back end the same, you're in front, you lock the wrist, racket goes in front of you down, the knuckles point up of your wrist here, of your right hand, and you use the left outside leg and you just go a little bit up. That's how you handle the low volleys. Regular height, you're here, and the high volleys on the forehand side, I always tell them that it's like you have a hammer in your hands and there's a nail, and you out of the forearm, you just try to hit that ball a little bit down and you control it. What do most players do when they come up, they run and they think they can hit an overhead and they're 8 feet behind the net? That's going to be a tough one. It's really high, and then most of them hit them here and they just sail out. Go straight up with your arms, think you have a hammer, and think you hit the ball out of the forearm. It's going to help you. On the backhand side, the same. Arms straight in front of you up, because if you go forward and you have the arms in front of you, you might be able to catch the ball on the rise. And if it's like so high already, still you have the arms up and you push it a little bit down. Do not go up there while the ball goes and it's high, like a high volley, and you try to overhead it. At least if you're a beginner intermediate player, please don't do that. They're gonna go over the fence most of the times, and that's a really tough one. So, good thing with the volleys, you can practice on the wall, which is really good because you're gonna have to have the hands in front of you. And what else do we need on the volley? What else do we need to know? We have the locking the wrist. We talked about the feet, the legs, pushing forward, keeping everything in front of you. Yeah, that's already, oh,